Hello, Christ is in our midst. I'm Father Kevin Long of St. Elias, St. York Orthodox Church in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Today's Sunday, March 9th, 2025, and here are the readings for today.
A reading from St. Paul's letter to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verses 1 through 10. Brethren, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured from sinners such hostility against himself, so that you may not grow weary or faint-hearted. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding your blood. And have you forgotten the exhortation which addresses you as sons? My son, do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor lose courage when you are punished by him. For the Lord disciplines him whom he loves, and chastises every son whom he receives. It is for discipline that you have to endure. God is treating you as sons. For what son is there whom his father does not discipline? If you are left without discipline, in which all have participated, then you are illegitimate children and not sons. Besides this, we have had earthly fathers to discipline us, and we respected them. Shall we not much more be subject to the Father? The reading is from the Holy Gospel according to St. John, chapter 1, verses 43 through 51. Let us be attentive. At that time, Jesus decided to go to Galilee, and he found Philip and said to him, "Follow me." Now Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip found Nathanael, and said to him, "We have found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." Nathanael said to him, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Philip said to him, "Come and see." Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him, and said of him, "Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile." Nathanael said to Jesus, "How do you know me?" Jesus answered, "Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you." Nathanael answered him, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." Jesus answered him, "Because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree, do you believe? You shall see greater things than these." And Jesus said to him, "Truly, truly, I say to you, you will see heaven opened, and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. Glory to thee, our God, glory to thee."
So here we are at the first Sunday of Lent, which in the Orthodox Church is known as the Triumph of Orthodoxy Sunday. In that, we have a remembrance of many things that have come to pass in the history of the Church. Most importantly, I think, is the triumph of the iconodules over the iconoclasts. Big words, which basically mean that those who rejected the use of icons were dismissed, and those who celebrated the use of icons within the liturgical tradition of the Church were affirmed. So to this day, the Orthodox Church uses icons within its worship service. And in this service in particular, the one that we do today, we will have a procession of the icons as a way to demonstrate that they are indeed an integral part of the worship service of the Orthodox Church. You could make an argument that the Old Testament argues against graven images, and the question has certainly been brought up over history through all sorts of different circles from outside of Christianity, like that of Islam, but also inside in the form of Zwinglianism or any of those other extremely low church traditions that don't believe in any kind of symbolism within the church. We dismiss both because Christ affirms the physical reality of creation. And icons are not meant to be venerated because of the fact that they are icons or paint on wood, but because they portray a reality that exists beyond the icon itself. It points, if you will, as if it were a window into heaven. We see a portrayal of Christ, and we know it is not Christ, but we do know also that it points to Christ. It serves its purpose in showing us Christ in different forms. An open Bible in his hand shows that he is teaching. A closed Bible in his hand shows that he is judging. There are other times he's on a cross or risen from the dead or transfigured along with Peter, James, and John on Mount Tabor. So there are all sorts of different portrayals, and each one also helps to tell a story. But all of them point to a heavenly reality as opposed to being one on earth. Years ago, my daughter was in a school, and the teacher brought a comparison between Raphael's Madonna and an icon. And the teacher gloried in the vivid detail that is found in Renaissance painting, the blush of the cheeks and the full figure of the people. They looked so real and so humanoid, and everything was wonderful. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, except the critique that she made was that the icon was primitive and the painting was more representative of an advanced style of artistry. That's silliness, because icons aren't meant to be realistic in that way. They're not meant to portray an earthly reality. They're meant to portray a heavenly reality. So naturally, the limbs have distortions to them. Necks are bent in impossible angles. In fact, if you look at an icon, you even see that the perspective is completely backwards. If you think about it, the frame of reference, which is one of the most important things that you can have in the portrayal of anything in painting in the Western world, the point of reference is in the point that is beyond the horizon that the person is looking at. Eventually, all things collapse into a singular point. That is known as the point of reference. In the icon, however, the point of reference is reversed. So actually, the icon brings the point of reference to the person. And so everything comes in this way as opposed to going out that way. And it's intentional because it is meant to show a difference between the earthly realm and the heavenly realm. In earth, you have time that is measured by a clock. In heaven, time doesn't have any meaning because everything is seen as now. On earth, you have created things. In heaven, you have things that are eternal and uncreated, in the name of the Trinity. On earth, you have things that tend towards decay and disorder. Science teaches us that entropy is the ultimate end of the entire universe, when everything will slow down and stop. And absolute zero will be everywhere. Motion will cease. Even the vibration of atoms will no longer be. Now, when this will happen, God alone knows, because it's going to be a way long time into the distance. But eventually, everything throughout the entire universe will be of one temperature and of no motion. In heaven, on the other hand, everything will tend towards order. And so you have disorder in the world, and you have order in heaven. So again, you have these differences that exist. And so icons are trying to portray that kind of difference. And they also help us because they give us understanding of what is going on within their borders. We see angels telling the myrrh-bearing women that Jesus is risen from the dead. We see the devil held captive within the mouth of Hades in another portrayal of Jesus' resurrection from the dead, in particular his time in Hades. We see all sorts of things. In the nativity icon, we actually have Jesus listed twice. Once in the manger with his mother, and then once being washed as a babe in the bottom right-hand corner of the same icon. And so there are all sorts of different things that these icons tell. And it is important to remember that oftentimes words are insufficient to describe heavenly realities, and therefore icons serve a purpose to help us have a deeper understanding of some of the theological truths that exist. Anyway, so this is this triumph then of the holy icons and the Orthodox way of worship. That is what we celebrate today. As we go into Lent, we are able to hold our heads high, if you will, and be grateful for God and His great goodness that He has given us, that we can worship the way that we do in spirit and in truth. So enjoy the day. May it be a blessing to you all, and God willing, we'll see you tomorrow.